It was almost midnight when the last case file of the day slammed onto Sophia Hale's desk. Not placed. Dropped, like a burden nobody else wanted to touch. Okay, wait, before we go to the next. I have a naughty question. Where are your hands right now? On your phone, your face, or scrolling the comments? Don't lie. Sophia rubbed her eyes, expecting another routine charge. A bar fight, a theft, a drunk who'd insist he was innocent. Then she saw the name on the tab. Adrian Moretti. Her breath stilled. The defense floor around her was dark, empty, monitors gone black for the night. Only her desk lamp glowed over a stack of unfinished paperwork and a cooling cup of coffee. She opened the file. A mugshot stared back. Dark hair combed back. Suit crisp, even in arrest lights. Eyes sharp enough to read her. Charges: racketeering, organized crime, witness tampering. One more line stood out like a knife. Homicide investigation pending. Sophia swallowed. She flipped the page and froze. In the margin of an old report, half faded. Lead investigator. Detective Michael Hayes. Her father. The name punched straight into the center of her chest. She traced it with a trembling thumb. After all these years, she still didn't know how he'd died. The department called it an accident during an operation. She'd never believed it. And now his final case was sitting on her desk. A voice from earlier echoed in her head. Big client. Dangerous connections. Don't ask too many questions, Hayes. She thought it was pressure. Now it felt like something else entirely. Tomorrow morning. She had to defend the man tied to her father's last steps. The interview room felt colder than usual the next day. Harsh lights, metal table, camera blinking red in the corner. Sophia walked in with the file tucked to her side like a shield. He was already there. Adrian Moretti sat calmly at the far end, hands folded, posture straight, jacket too expensive for a police station and eyes too steady for a man facing prison. No cuffs, no stress, just unreadable quiet. Sophia paused in the doorway. He lifted his gaze to her like he had been waiting for this exact moment. The guard behind her grunted, "Your lawyer," and shut the door. Sophia forced herself to sit opposite him. "Mr. Moretti," she began. He didn't blink. "I've been expecting you, Ms. Hayes." Her spine tightened. He shouldn't know her name. Not before introductions. Not with that tone. "Did you request me?" she asked carefully. He nodded once. Small, controlled, intentional. The entire room felt tighter around her. By the time she left the courthouse, the sky was fading into pale gray. Cars honked in the distance, vendors packed up their stalls, and a cold wind pushed down the street. Sophia pulled her coat close and headed toward her car parked a block over. Her mind wouldn't stop replaying the interview. His calmness. His attention. The slight pause when he noticed her shaking hands. She tried to shake the feeling off, but something was wrong. A dark sedan rolled past the courthouse slowly. Tinted windows. Low, quiet engine. She didn't look twice. Not until she crossed the next street and saw it again. Same car. Same slow crawl. Her stomach tensed. She walked faster, heels clicking too sharply on the damp pavement. She reached her car and unlocked it quickly, glancing into the side mirror. The sedan had stopped halfway down the block. Not parked. Not turning. Just waiting. She got inside, locked the doors and pulled out into traffic. A few cars followed behind her. One stayed. The same sedan. Turn after turn, lane after lane. No matter how she switched routes, it shadowed her. Her grip tightened on the wheel. She took a fast left, then a right, then merged onto a busier street. The sedan stayed with her. Her breath shortened. At the next light, red held her too long. The sedan rolled up behind her, 2 car lengths back. Watching. Waiting. Her neck prickled. The light turned green. She accelerated. The sedan did too. Faster this time. Suddenly it surged into the lane beside her, swerved ahead, and cut directly in front of her car. Sophia slammed the brakes. Her seatbelt caught her. Papers flew across the floor. Her father's old file slid open near her feet. A man stepped out of the sedan's passenger side. Dark jacket. Heavy boots. No hesitation. No expression. He walked straight toward her windshield. Sophia's pulse hammered. Then another engine growled behind her. A low, confident sound. A black car slid into place behind her own. Stopped close. Controlled. Deliberate. The door opened. Adrian Moretti stepped out. Not a client now. Not a businessman. A man built from danger and intent. The thug from the sedan froze at the sight of him. Adrian didn't shout. He didn't posture. He didn't rush. He walked forward slowly, eyes locked on the approaching man. One quiet exchange. Too low for Sophia to hear. Whatever Adrian said, it made the thug's expression break. He turned, backed away, got into the sedan, and the car disappeared into the night. Adrian finally turned to her. Sophia's hands were shaking on the wheel. He walked to her window and tapped once. She lowered it an inch. "You're being followed," he said calmly. "Not by me." Her breath stilled. "Then by who?" "People who don't want you asking questions," he said. "And they won't stop." He stepped back. "Follow me." "Not here. Not alone." Sophia hesitated, but the fear still sat sharp in her chest. She nodded. Adrian returned to his car. He waited for her to pull out, and she followed. Into the deeper, darker part of the city. Adrian led her through quieter streets, far from the courthouse and the heavy foot traffic. Tower lights faded behind them. The city turned narrow, controlled, and unfamiliar. Sophia kept both hands tight on the wheel, staying close behind his car. Every turn he made felt intentional. Every stoplight seemed to last too long. Her pulse wouldn't settle. She kept glancing into the rear-view mirror. No sedan. No headlights following. But the fear stayed. After several turns, Adrian's car slowed in front of a tall glass building. Nothing flashy, nothing marked, the kind of structure that hid power instead of showing it. He entered a private garage below. Sophia followed, the motion sensor lights flicking on as her tires crossed the line. The air felt too still, too clean, too far removed from the world she knew. She stepped out of her car, her breath shaky. Adrian didn't waste time. He walked ahead, swiped a code, and the garage elevator opened instantly. "You're safe here," he said. Sophia didn't answer. She wasn't sure what safety meant anymore. The elevator rose silently. No music, no sound. Just her heartbeat echoing too loudly in her ears. When the doors opened, he stepped out into a dimly lit office-like space. Glass walls, clean lines, warm desk lights. Not a home, not a hideout. Something in between. A place made for secrets. He grabbed a bottle of water and placed it on the table, not handing it to her, just leaving it within reach. "Sit," he said quietly. It wasn't forceful. It didn't have to be. Something in her chest responded before her mind agreed. He sat slowly. Adrian pulled a chair in front of her but didn't sit. He watched her shoulders, the tension in her hands, the way she kept her breath too trapped in her chest. "You're shaking," he said. "I'm fine." "You're not." Sophia looked away. He stepped a little closer, lowering his voice. "You're not in danger right this second. Breathe." For reasons she didn't understand, Her breath eased at that. Silence pressed around them. Finally she spoke. I think someone's been following me. His expression sharpened, not in surprise but recognition. How long? 2 weeks, she said. Maybe more. His jaw flexed. They ever approach you? No. And you didn't tell anyone? I didn't know if it was real. Adrian exhaled slowly, like something he feared had just been confirmed. Next time, he said, you tell someone. Sophia's brow tightened. Why? Because people who follow lawyers don't want information. His eyes held hers. They want silence. Cold crept up her spine. Before she could respond, his phone vibrated. He answered with his back half-turned, voice low. The tension in his shoulders grew with each second. When he hung up, he faced her again. Someone was at your apartment. Her breath snapped. What? Who? My men didn't see them clearly. Just movement. Someone at your door. That's impossible, she whispered. Nobody knows where I live. They do now. She rose abruptly, fear breaking into panic. I have to go home. I have to. You're not going back there, he said. I don't have a choice. You do. His voice stayed calm. You're staying here tonight. She shook her head, backing away from him. This is insane. I defend criminals, Adrian. I don't join them. You think this is about me. You show up when I'm being followed, bring me to a secret building, tell me not to go home. How is it not? He stepped forward, controlled, steady. You were in danger before you took my case, he said. I'm just the first person who admitted it. Fear flared into anger. I don't need your protection. Yes, he said. You do. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Why? Adrian hesitated. Only for a moment. Because you're involved in something bigger than a defense job. Sophia stared at him. What are you talking about? He watched her carefully, like he was weighing how much truth she was ready to hear. Your father wasn't the only one investigating organized crime, he said. Her heart stumbled. What do you know about my father? He didn't break her gaze. You don't want that answer. She stepped into him without meaning to. Don't decide that for me. His eyes lowered slightly, the closest he'd come to vulnerability. Then be careful what you're asking for. The tension twisted between them. Fear, anger, something unspoken deeper than both. Sophia grabbed her bag. I'm leaving. No. I'm not staying in your safe house. You can leave, he said. You just can't go home. She blinked, thrown off. That building isn't safe, he said. That life, your normal life, stopped being safe days ago. He walked to a drawer, pulled out a thin folder, and set it on the table. Her father's handwriting marked the corner. Sophia's breath shattered. Where did you get this? She whispered. Adrian's voice was low. I found it. In a police archive. Her knees weakened. He stepped closer. Your father was following the same people who followed you tonight. Beep. And they know his name is still on your door. Sophia stared at the folder, at a truth she had spent years chasing. Her past wasn't gone. It had found her. And she had walked straight into the only man who knew why. Adrian didn't push her toward the table. He didn't crowd her. He simply waited, letting the weight of the folder speak for him. Sophia pressed her fingers to her forehead, breathing unevenly. I need air, she whispered. Adrian nodded once and walked toward a door she hadn't noticed, flush with the wall, unmarked except for a keypad. Without turning, he said quietly, Come with me. She hesitated. He looked back, eyes steady. If I wanted to hurt you, he said, I wouldn't need a locked room to do it. Oddly, the brutal honesty made her step forward. He entered a code. The door unlocked with a soft click. Inside was a smaller room. Dim, cold, organized. Metal shelves lined the walls. Files and boxes sat in perfect rows. A fireproof safe was bolted into the floor. A single desk lamp cast warm light over the center table. Sophia stepped in slowly. It didn't feel like a criminal's lair. It felt like a place someone built to protect what couldn't be left out in the world. Adrian knelt by the safe and entered another code. The lock turned heavily. He lifted out a thicker folder. Older, edges frayed, label faded from years of handling. When he set it on the table and opened it, the breath left her chest. Photos. Typed reports. Handwritten notes she recognized instantly. Her father's handwriting. Her voice came out as a rasp. You've had this. A long time, Adrian said. How long? She whispered. He didn't lie. Years. Her knees nearly buckled. And you never told me, she choked. You wouldn't have listened. You didn't even try. His eyes flickered, regret, guilt, something raw. No, he said quietly. I didn't. Sophia's trembling fingers turned the first page. Crime scene photo. A burned-out warehouse. Smoldered beams like broken ribs. She'd seen pieces of this before. Clippings her mother hid, half-finished stories whispered by old cops, but never the full picture. She forced herself to keep reading. The report described a raid triggered by an anonymous tip. Unstable building. Heat surge. Explosion. Casualties. Her father's name appeared twice. Lead investigator. Confirmed deceased. Her throat closed in on itself. You knew how he died, she whispered. You knew the truth. Not all of it, Adrian said. She turned the next page. It wasn't official. It was a scanned copy of a handwritten note. Her father's handwriting, sharp and fast. Source claims warehouse belongs to a Moretti organization. Tip delivered anonymously. Color mass. Feels wrong. Too clean. But higher-ups insist we move fast. Sophia's breath trembled. What is this? She said. Keep reading, Adrian murmured. Lower on the page, another note. Added later in a different hand. Holder. Official. Tip traced to encrypted line belonging to known associate of Adrian Moretti. Her stomach twisted. She looked at Adrian like she was seeing him for the first time. Moretti, she whispered. As in. Me, he said. The word split something inside her. Explain, she demanded. He didn't step closer. The warehouse wasn't mine, he said. It belonged to DeLuca. I wanted it gone. I had someone tip the police. Told them when to hit. Gave them just enough to move. Pain surged through her chest. You tipped the police, she said. You set up that raid. He didn't deny it. Yes. Her breath shook. And you're just telling me now. I didn't know your father would be there, he said. I didn't know they'd rush the raid without inspection. I didn't know the building was that unstable. But you knew it was dangerous. I knew, he said quietly. That was the point. Her hands curled into fists. You used the police like weapons. Silence. Then finally. Your father walked into a trap meant for someone else, he said. My trap. The room spun. Her father's death wasn't random. Not tragic. Not unlucky. It was engineered. She stepped back, one hand gripping the table to stay upright. You killed him, she whispered. Adrian didn't break her gaze. I caused the chain that ended with his death, he said. Whether I meant to or not doesn't change that. Her vision blurred. And you let me defend you, she whispered. You let me stand beside you in court without telling me. I didn't know who you were at first. And when you did, when I saw your father's report beside your file, he said softly. Tonight. Something in her cracked. She turned away, tears slipping down before she could stop them. You, her voice broke. All this time, it was you. Adrian moved one slow step toward her. Sophia. Don't, she snapped. Do not say my name. She stumbled toward the door, needing distance, needing air. And her legs gave out. Her hand hit the wall as the room tilted. Adrian caught her before she fell, steady and warm and too close. Easy, he murmured. Breathe. I can't, she whispered. You can, he said. You're here. You're not alone. Her breath trembled, but she didn't pull away. He guided her back into a chair. His hand rested on the back of it, close, not touching her skin, but steady enough that she felt anchored. Sophia squeezed her eyes shut. I needed the truth, she whispered. Years ago. I know. And you kept it. I did. Why? Adrian lowered his head slightly, voice rough. Because telling you would have destroyed you then, he said. And tonight, it might save you. Her tears fell again. She didn't know what hurt more, what he'd done or what he was still doing to protect her. Sophia sat rigid in the chair, her breath trembling, her hands gripping the armrests hard enough to ache. She looked up at Adrian slowly, eyes red, voice thin. You think protecting me now fixes any of this? No, he said instantly. It doesn't. Then why are you doing this? She whispered. Why bring me here? Why tell me now? He didn't look away. Because tonight, he said quietly, someone tried to finish what began with that warehouse. The room seemed to tilt again. You're saying they followed me because of my father? She asked. No, he stepped closer, voice low, steady. They followed you because of me. Her pulse spiked. You think this is about your case? It's not, he said. This started before you ever walked into that courthouse. Sophia swallowed hard. Who? She whispered. Who is doing this? Adrian exhaled, the sound tight with contained anger. Marco De Luca. The name hit her like a physical blow. She'd seen it whispered in files. Heard police mutter it like a curse. The ghost name that never made it to trial. Her voice cracked. De Luca knew my father. He killed your father, Adrian said. Direct, unflinching, cold with truth. Sophia's breath stopped. You're lying. No. He wouldn't. He did, Adrian said, cutting her denial before it could shield her again. He rigged the warehouse, set the charges, designed the raid to burn anyone who stepped inside. Her stomach twisted. You tipped them, she whispered. But he killed them. Adrian nodded once. I lit the fuse. De Luca built the bomb. Sophia pressed a hand to her mouth, eyes wet. She hated him. She needed him. She couldn't tell the difference anymore. He destroyed everything, she whispered. He destroys anything that threatens him, Adrian said. Including good men. Her eyes drifted to her father's handwriting on the table. Good men. Her father was one. And he died for it. Sophia's chest caved suddenly, panic breaking through her ribs. Her breaths turned shallow, fast, sharp. Adrian moved instantly. Sit back, he said quietly. Slow your breathing. I can't, her voice trembled. I can't think. You don't need to think right now, he said, dropping to one knee in front of her chair. You need to breathe. Her vision blurred as the panic took hold. The narrator describes. Her hands shook uncontrollably. The room felt smaller. The truth felt too big. Adrian didn't touch her. He stayed close enough for her to feel the steadiness of him. "Look at me," he said. She did. "Good," he murmured. "Now match my breathing." He inhaled slowly, exhaled slower. She tried. Failed. Tried again. Her breaths gradually lengthened. "You're safe in this moment," he said quietly. "No one is getting through that door." Tears ran down her face. Not from fear, from the breaking. "I don't know what to do," she whispered. "You don't have to know," he said. "Not tonight." He rose and offered his hand. Not to hold, just to steady her if she reached for it. She didn't take it. But she stopped shaking. Sophia wiped her face, still trembling slightly. "You knew all this," she said. Her voice was hoarse. "And you didn't tell me the moment I stepped into that courtroom." "I didn't know it was you," he said softly. "Not until tonight. Not until I saw your father's file next to yours." "And when you knew," she whispered, "you brought me here anyway." "Yes." "Why?" He hesitated, really hesitated. "Because," he said, "I'm not letting DeLuca hurt you the way he hurt him." Her breath stilled. Not a justification. Not an excuse. Wow. Sophia stood unsteadily and moved away from the chair. She walked in a slow circle, trying to find air in a room that felt too full. Adrian didn't move. He let her pace, let her break, let her be angry without interruption. Finally, she stopped with her back to him. "I spent years trying to understand what happened," she said. Her voice cracked in the middle. "I thought if I worked harder, read more, asked the right questions, I could fix something." She turned toward him, raw and stripped of every defense. "But the one thing I needed, the truth, I couldn't find because you were in the middle of it." Adrian's jaw tensed slightly. "And now that you know," he asked quietly, "does it make anything easier?" "No," she said. Then added, "But it makes it real." She stepped closer to the table and touched her father's handwriting again, fingertips gentle. "I'm tired of being afraid of things I don't understand," she said. Adrian took a single step forward, but no more. "You don't have to be afraid anymore," he said. "I am," she whispered. "But I'm more afraid of not knowing." She finally looked up at him, straight into the man who destroyed her world and was the only one trying to keep her alive inside it. "Tell me everything," she said. "All of it. No more pieces. No more half-truths." Adrian's expression shifted, something like acceptance settling over him. "It will hurt," he warned. "I know. It will change everything. I know, Adrian. It might make you hate me." Her voice rose softly but steady. "I'm not running away anymore." Silence stretched between them. Not heavy, not cold, just real. The narrator explains. In that moment, she didn't choose forgiveness. She chose the truth. Even if the truth came from the man who broke her life apart. Adrian moved to the table, placed a hand on the folder, and spoke quietly. "Then we start here," he said, "with what your father uncovered, and what he never had time to finish. More stories are coming. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Red heart, comment your favorite moment from this story. Pushpin, share the video with someone who loves dark romance narratives.